Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys very much for coming out and supporting not only our group, but also the other companies that follow. I do want to introduce our company. We are Companah, and yes, we do work with pet owners and veterinarians when the pet passes away. We provide a green, environmentally friendly solution for families to grieve properly. Now, I'm up here as one of the founders. I am also joined tonight by our founder is my wife, Shannon. Shannon has a background she is a genetic engineering major. She's most recently worked in teaching in high school, environmental science. Current clientele, she has a fewer disciplinary issues than she did possibly when she's teaching in high school, but only disciplinary issues maybe it would be me. I have a background in pastoral care and counseling, as well as program management for the federal government. And I wanted to tell you a few things about our company as we begin, just as foundational elements. We are a clean tech company. We are the first in the area to bring green cremation as a practice for pet owners. It's water cremation. Now, when you're talking about an environmentally friendly solution, sometimes that comes across sometimes as maybe not the best solution, because there's always a trade-off when you have an environmental solution. I drive a Prius, okay? Getting on the highway is kind of like a suggestion at some point in time when I hit the accelerator. With this thing, though, there is not a trade-off. This is not only an environmental solution, but it's a better solution all around. It is completely sterile, it's emission-free, and it's where the industry will be going, not only for pets, but also as we go on into a sustainable approach for human cremation as well. So that's the first thing I want to tell you about our group. Second thing is I want to tell you a little bit about the market opportunity that we're looking at. And here's the first problem that we're trying to solve. There isn't a lot of data when it comes to pet mortalities, and that's actually a really bad thing for epidemiological studies, for veterinarians, and for a lot of other issues. But we did some extrapolations of extrapolations. We found our target market, what we're looking at here, and then we did more extrapolations, because again, the data doesn't exist, on what we would be looking at as far as the national market for this too. It's actually something that is worthwhile for our attention and for an IoT solution. But as we began this venture, we knew that we wanted to get into and just make sure that not only is this a need that needed to be solved, but as we went through it, what issues are there for folks and for us to discover? Over the past 14 months, we've had our MVP product in the field, our initial service, and we found some great traction with that. One of the things that we found out, though, as we are growing pretty significantly, the first problem we got to solve is how can we do this and scale our solution across the problem, not only regionally, but also nationally as well. But more than just our success in our initial offering of a service, we've had an opportunity over 14 months to speak directly to pet owners, speak directly to veterinarians who are caring for these pets, and find out not just the problem of the pet mortality and what to do, but what are the problems that lie behind that. Rachel asked you at the beginning, who here are pet owners? The first thing that you want to know when we come to your home is, how do I know that this will be my pet that comes back? That's the question of trust. That's a question of grief. And how do I actually begin my family's journey as we learn how to now live without this valuable member of our family? Well, they also asked the next question, which helped us understand how to answer the first question is, what's going to happen? Where are things what's going to happen? Where are you going with my pet? When is my pet coming home? What are you going to do with my pet during this process? Well, that's an issue of transparency. That's an issue of trust. And one that we found that we can answer with an IoT solution. What we've been doing over the past 14 months, as well as the past 3 months in our RIoT program, is building an RFID and NFC solution to this problem. With this technology, once a pet passes away, once we come to you not only with the knowledge of what's going to happen, but here's this tag that's going to stay with your pet, your companion, all the way through our services. This tag is also going to return inlaid into your memorial. With this tag, you'll be able to follow at all times where your pet is in our process, building that level of trust that you know that what we're doing is appropriate by your companion. There's also the solution that this is going to help us scale, because as service providers, the last thing we can do is screw up. With this kind of solution, this helps us scale our solution not only here regionally, but also as we expand out and more, we now have a solution that we know that is repeatable and can continue to provide the same great service to pet owners beyond what we're serving right now. The pet owner then is a dashboard that they can access at all points in time, and that dashboard tells them where that tag is in our process. This is great because not only does it build that level of trust, but that gives us an engagement level with this pet owner that we didn't even understand, and how powerful that is. An engagement where we can not only give them assurance, give them resources, an engagement actually that will extend past the time in which we are encountering their pet. It gives us a greater opportunity to provide them different solutions as well. IoT is best served when you're putting computers in a situation where computers do what they do best, or humans do what humans do best. We have people that need to talk to us. We want to be able to spend our resources making sure that we've got those resources, human resources. While at the back end, we have the computers doing what they're doing best, tracking, assuring, and doing the things that make sure that we provide the best solution for pet owners. It's kind of ironic that we're sitting here in a kids museum. One of the things that we've discovered as we continue to go on is that oftentimes for kids, their first experience of grief is when their pet passes away. That experience of grief does a lot for their emotional wholeness, their emotional well-being as they continue to grow into teenagers, adults. We're excited to be a part of that. We think that that is something that's giving them a good resource as they grow forward as well. We thank you guys for paying attention, listen to us. What we'd love for everybody here to do tonight, everybody here is a pet owner. Everybody's connected to a vet. We have a page set up that we would love for you to visit, companah.com/talk. Hey, if you like your vet, there's a button right there where you could actually get them a free lunch on us, so we can talk about water cremation, talk about our solutions as well. And we would love for you to visit that and then share our story past this evening. Right now, we're going to invite our founder up, Shannon. And I think it's time that we can entertain questions from our judges.
Thank you for your presentation.
Yes.
Could you explain your extrapolation of the 1.2 billion market size, please?
Yes, would. Glad to. So the only study that we found that actually was a scientific study on the rates of pet mortality, we actually found on a PubMed Central article, actually. It was published in 2002. It did give mortality rates of cats and dogs. Of course, that's not the only pets that we have. So that was where we then we went to the Veterinary Society to get numbers on vet practices in each area.
So your RFID technology, does that work just with your water cremation service? Is this something that would work with standard cremation that you could then...
The tag that we're working with now does only work with water cremation. Because it's a low heat, it's not the flame-based cremation, so it is just for water cremation.
Thank you. What's the cost of the infrastructure of a type of facility that this would take place, and then what do you do with the black water or used water?
I'll do the first part, you do the second part. Yep. First part is we do have a facility set up in Sanford. Basically, roundabout, because not only the machinery, there's also utilities and things like this, about 90,000 set up.
As far as the effluent, it's a resource. This is a nutrient-rich product that comes out. Right now, we are not using that resource. We'd love to have some interest of folks who would be able to use that nutrient, whether it's a sod farm or somewhere that could use that water. It's expensive to move water. It's clearly heavy. We're using 260 gallons at a time, but it's nutrient-rich water, so we would love to be able to recycle that.
What's the cost of pet owners choosing this option versus kind of the options today? And then also, I guess, how do you scale beyond Central North Carolina and what's a relatively fragmented market of vet practices?
Sure.
First and second.
Yeah, the cost, as I was talking about with the Prius, there really isn't a trade-off. This is less expensive to run. The utilities are less expensive, and so we've priced our products. We have both a retail market and a wholesale market for vets, and it is the same or lower than what they're already paying. So.
And our expansion strategy is using a spoken hub model. In other words, as we extend into a different market that's a little bit past where we are right now and build up a vet client base right there, then we'll be able to move the facility closer and then continue to extend that way.
If we could stay on the scale question for just a minute, using your hub and spoke, how many of those do you believe you can build out and scale over the next 18 months?
At least 4.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you have numbers that let you know where you will reach break even based on that scale schedule?
We're already actually producing, we're beyond breaking even now.
You're beyond that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then what percentage of what you're already doing now that's in, I'm going to say surplus, are you willing to invest in your own scale model?
Pretty much, other than what we're paying ourselves,
Okay.
we're investing everything else back into the company.
Okay, thank you.
That's time. Thank you very much. Again, please visit our website.